You have studied long hours, rehearsed written papers, debated in class, read books and articles, participated in community projects, attended events, held jobs. You've been persuaded to think differently and helped others to think differently. You have joined groups of all kinds, and ultimately, we hope that you have gained a fuller sense of the world and who you are, what you can do, and what you want to do. The last months of college is a time of updating resumes or curriculum vitae. Often used in education, the term curriculum vitae gestures to something more than a list of past accomplishments. Curriculum vitae is Latin for life's course of study. And as you have a curriculum vitae, one that now includes BS or BA or BA and a BFA, so institutions also have a life's course of study, a curriculum vitae. No, not only by the titles of the courses, though that list is interesting, but by those who have taught and studied at the institution. That list for the new school is long and remarkable and inspiring. It includes John Page, Robert Frost, Margaret Mead, Eric Fromm, Martha Graham, W.E.B. Du Bois, Eileen Miles, Sekou Sundiata, to name only a few. And while their subjects and approaches are diverse, what their teaching always has in common is the certainty that learning depends upon human relations. Depends upon, draws upon, cannot happen without human relations. This understanding is core to your education at Eugene Lang. Learning through human relations is the premise of the seminar, the hallmark of Lang. It also happens in silent conversation when you are reading a text. It can happen in the dance studio. It happens in the science lab. It happens in the professor's office. It happens in late-night conversations with peers. Cage's experimental music classes, in W.E.B. Du Bois's classes on race, Martha Graham's dance classes, and Sekou Sandiata's classes in poetry, democracy, and justice are all part of our institutional curriculum vitae. In these people, and in you, today's graduates, I see a commitment to learning that is fierce, radically open and restless, always curious. Every one of you is now part of Lang's and the New School's curriculum vitae. Your learning, your courage, your social justice activism that often demands more from us, more from the institution. All this makes us wiser and better. Thank you, graduates, for shaping Lang and for shaping the New School.
Okay, is this good? All right. Hello, everyone. This is a big crowd. I dreamt about giving this speech. Of course, in the dream, I missed it because of elevator traffic. Jokes aside, I'm honored to be representing my classmates. I've been fortunate to spend time with so many of you, getting to learn together and being involved in presentations as well as protests. We all complete a big step as we get our degrees and look beyond with excitement at what is to come. We gather here today to celebrate with our family. They're over there. My family. Faculty and my friends. People who supported us and made these years special. After about 4 years of mastering essay writing, perfecting MLA citations, and analyzing and solving the problems of the world, we're now expected to go run it. The hurdles we face may seem daunting, but I promise you, we're capable of getting past them. My time at Lang makes me feel confident when I say that too. And I'm not here to sprinkle cheesy inspiration your way. Well, maybe just a dash of it. Here goes. So, as a kid growing up in India, I fantasized about being a superhero. I was the narcissistic savior, but more accurately, the frightened boy with a lack of self-belief. I grew up thinking that I was an accidental coin in the washer. You see, in India, your occupation plays a major role in how you're perceived. And there, you've got the Holy Trinity. Perfect setting for this. Engineering, medicine, and law. If you don't practice one of the dogmas, you're greeted with a slight ridicule. Especially from your mom's friend, whose child's at MIT doing something with nanochips and all that science fiction jazz. And there I was, a lost soul swimming in a fishbowl, making sense of Pink Floyd lyrics while my friends were deciphering how cyclotrons accelerate particles. I wanted to fit in, to belong, but it was getting exceedingly clear that I would have to bend. In this hopeless pursuit, I became intent on having my very own coming-of-age story. Growing up, I was burdened by impossible societal expectations. It got so bad that I came to believe that only supernatural powers could make up for all the inadequacies that I thought I had got. I remember a moment in high school when someone, an authority figure, told me that I was worthless and that I would never be able to be successful. It was tempting to accept the imposed notion that I might not be good enough. The words reinforced my feeling of self-doubt. Loser, I carved on my notebook. 6 squiggles in blue ink lay solid lines, forming a word that served as a reminder that I was only destined for failure. These moments, though, they define your character. I was presented with the choice to accept something that wasn't true and to surrender myself to the status quo. And I almost complied by defining myself as how someone else saw me. But then I decided to reject that definition, immediately scratching the word away. And I chose to define myself in my own terms. My first step towards that was to attend a new school. 4 years ago, I landed in New York, rolling a couple of 50-pound suitcases, entering the defining part of my coming-of-age story. I was privileged as I got the opportunity to seek out another way of defining myself. My super supportive parents, there they are again, they let me leave for another continent, as long as I stayed under the watchful eye of my brother and sister-in-law, because, you know, drugs can be a problem. And I can't thank my family enough for all they've done. Their commitment and the support has been influential in me standing here today. Well, what attracted me to the new school, besides it being in New York City, was its history. It was called the University in Exile, providing refuge to many people before its arrival. Some new schoolers were fleeing literal oppression, as did the German scholars fleeing the Nazis in the 1930s, while others, like me, were seeking a sense of belonging. To me, a superhero fanatic, it was the equivalent to Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. The place where inquisitive minds could find purpose, one where they could thrive. Lang was a magical part of the new school, offering the knowledge in a mystical field called liberal arts, something still rather alien in India. So alien, in fact, that a relative gave me an art set as a parting gift because arts. But the liberal arts opened up a whole new vista of disciplines for me to discover. What unearthed in this exploration was a penchant for social justice. I found a passion for representing community voices and pushing for advocacy by participating in organizations that make establishments accountable. Working at the college newspaper, shout out to the New School Free Press! And co-frontal with Samantha B, I was involved in endeavors that raise awareness about crucial issues and highlight institutional practices that need reworking. This interest in social justice bore fruit in 2015, when I was a sophomore at Lang, and I returned to India to participate in an NGO in Rajasthan. Our assignment was to survey government-run public schools into sandy expanses way past We come out of here appreciating the complexities of life and knowing, perhaps most importantly, what it means to be empathetic. The fields we study may seem vastly different, but the economics, literature, theater, journalism, and even independent cinema courses that I took at Lang challenged me to broaden my perspective and my perception of the world, and have added value to my decision-making process. I am sure that unconsciously, many of the things that you've learned over the years will inform your choices and keep coming back to you in meaningful ways. When I came in New York, I was desperate to have my own coming-of-age story. Something that would define me as some superhero and prove my doubters wrong. But my years at Lang have led me to change my understanding of superheroes. I realized that you don't really come of age. You grow. And you continue to do so. There's no limit to it, and thus, there's no end to your story. Lang has made me appreciate learning for learning's sake. And I crave knowledge and value creativity. My education in Lang has led me to understand that these qualities are no less valuable than being able to fly around in tights. You'll agree that the process can seem painful, But once done, there's no better feeling than to know that you've written a good research paper. Unmasking capitalism as an ideology that alienates humans, one that serves to strengthen people and institutions that are already in power. That's not just a fancy title with scholarly citations. We write these in the hope that people have a debate and are given a platform to hold powerful institutions accountable. That right there is quintessential land. And I, like each of you graduating today, am steeped in that sense of righteousness. This school has not shaped us into a rigid thing that's set in its ways. It's molded us like clay, and we can go out into the world continuing to be shaped as we try to make a difference. And we sure will, because we at Lang are a little rebellious. We learn to critically understand the complex and disturbing problems facing our global society, and instead of just whining about them, we try to devise strategic solutions. Even though I now say that superheroes aren't real, and that spiders aren't radioactive in real life, something I wish I knew sooner. Heroism still exists, and it's a collective effort. I can proudly say that each one of us here has heroic abilities. These abilities are in a plethora of fields, and they've been sharpened by this university and our wonderful time together. But our work isn't done yet. As the wise Uncle Ben once said, with great power comes great responsibility. It's an overused adage, but it's a reminder that accountability for our actions is essential, and that people have the power to impact change. If you're not satisfied with the status quo, a push for change rather than an acceptance of what powerful agents dictate is the path we must tread, no matter how daunting. Capes and masks, they're optional. Congratulations, graduating class of 2018. Be proud of this moment and continue to define yourself in your own way. Thank you.